nicely. I don't understand the hate that's going on for it. To me, it's a little delusional that people are upset about it for no reason.
They just don't know what good entertainment is. They don't know what good science fiction is and everything. And you're right. History, every season, they've gone through history. Like you said, the dinosaurs, Rosa Parks, the Beatles.
Yep. And that was and most of that was just with Shutee. If you look back at other doctors, you figured they did Picasso. Mm-hmm. They've gone and they did a Titanic episode.
Yeah, because Jodie did, like I said, she did Rosa Parks.
Yep.
I mean, they've done all these episodes. It's just amazing that people aren't getting it. And even with, they've gone and they've showed how they can interlink animation with a doctor episode.
Yeah. Even though it was a little creepy when it got to a certain point with the animation, but it was still really cool.
And this was back in the 70s in it, which was amazing. It looked like a Yellow Submarine episode.
Yeah, but then the animation got really too real and it started taking a turn. But that's just a special effects element.
Yeah.
The most part is the show has done such a great job that I don't understand the hatred for that. It's like, oh my God, it's being too progressive. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, you have a doctor that regenerates into another actor each season. Why does this always bother people? They forget what the main storyline is about.
They forgot about how James Bond changed too.
Oh yeah,
numerous times.
Yeah, we've had different actors portraying Bond. I think
and even Jack Reacher.
Yeah, I guarantee. Well, Reacher was a step up.
Yes.
You know, that's the thing.
Reacher, you've had.
Listen, there's always going to be
October. All those guys all change.
There's always going to be actors that replace another actor, but Doctor Who has found a way to do it seamlessly, where you're not retelling the story again. You just know, okay, he regenerates. So instead of him dying, he comes back as a different iteration of the Doctor. And to me, that's a brilliant element to keep a show going. The show's been on over 60 years at this point. Now, granted, it's had a lot of breaks, and unfortunately, at the end of this season, we may be going on another break. You know, I just wish people would stop being like, the Doctor's got to be a white guy. It's like,
no, it doesn't.
No, because they've already proven they've done it with a woman. Jodie Whittaker had some ups and downs with her season, but it actually was it wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be with her stuff. And now Shutee's done 2 seasons. 2 seasons with Shutee Gatwa, and it has been so much of a fun ride.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it's such an issue.
That's a great launch for his career.
Now, how many episodes did you get through of Hollywood Demons?
I didn't watch the last episode, which is, what is it? The what do you call Wives?
No, that's like, so I think that was about episode 4 or 5.
Whatever the last episode, and I skipped over it so I could watch the Von Erichs.
Okay, yeah, the Von Erichs were, I think, were 5. The last one was something else.
Yeah.
I watched the whole season, and we'll discuss a few of the episodes.
Yeah, perfect.
So, and we'll start off with the very first episode of Hollywood Demons,
which is Stephen Collins.
Yep. Now, I don't know how many people actually watched Seventh Heaven. I know I did. I don't know if you did.
Not really.
I watched it back in the day. The funniest part was everyone made a big deal over Jessica Biel. I actually liked Beverly Mitchell, who played the younger sister, even though she was older.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I liked Beverly Mitchell, but that was also because I remember seeing Beverly Mitchell in the second Crow movie where she played a child junkie.
Yes.
So that was the thing. So I remember her from that, and then I believe she was also in one of the Saw movies.
I think she was also in Friday the 13th, too.
I'm not sure about that one.
No, excuse me, not that one. House of Wax.
No, that might have been Jessica Biel. Well, no, Jessica Biel did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but the cast has gone on to do other things. Yeah. But they focused for Hollywood Demons on Stephen Collins, who was the father on that show. And he is not a good guy from everything that we've seen, and he has a predilection for children. Yeah. Now, I didn't know that he was married to, what was it, Faye Grant?
Yes.
Who I always remember her and loved seeing her on V.
Yeah.
So I was in shock because I didn't even know those two were together. I had heard the rumors back and saw some of like the news stories about how he got in trouble for stuff, but I never paid close attention to it.
It's amazing how you look at how you forget who was married to who. Like I remember Parker Stevenson was with the late Kirstie Alley and Gil Gerard and Connie Selica back in the day, Buck Rogers himself and all. And it's always so funny on all that and everything.
And that's one of the things. It's hard to like lock down all the different characters and who's been married to who. Hollywood, that's why I think there's so many of like these Hollywood access and entertainment shows, because they can delve into different elements. I mean, we primarily look at the shows themselves because I don't really want to get into people's personal lives.
No.
Hollywood Demons, however, is one of those things where we're kind of looking into it because it's more of an investigation onto some of the issues that
And the psyches.
yeah.
And everything.
And Stephen Collins was also a writer. So the fact that he's an author, wrote quite a few books, and they were kind of erotic books in a sense, where he played a preacher on TV. But he's writing these books, and some of the stuff that was in there was a little weird, and it ended up being that he was actually coming on and having relations with children.
And the scary part is also he's affiliated with Star Trek.
Yeah, unfortunately. But you know what? It is what it is. And the funny part was, too, the mom from Seventh Heaven was also a part of Star Trek history.
She was in Star Trek for The Voyage Home.
Yeah, with the whales.
Yes.
So that's the thing. You know, we have people who are on other properties and stuff, and it kind of ruins the properties when you find this stuff out about them. But Stephen Collins, this isn't anything new.
No.
But knowing now...
It's disappointing.
Yeah. But the fact that he was getting himself involved with preteen girls is a major issue, and it's one of the reasons why you don't really see Seventh Heaven in syndication anymore. No. If it is, it's probably on one of the Christian channels, which they seem to be a little more forgiving about things like that, but I don't understand how, but sure, why not?